Hello everyone. For the past few years, Capcom has been getting woke. They've been drinking the woke sludge, and many of their recent works are just so apparently woke that you can't deny it anymore. Their recent Dragon's Dogma game is pretty woke, and the character creator is extremely woke. They can't say male or female, they call it masculine or feminine. And in one of their Twitter posts, they took a picture of the masculine human's butt. I think it was the human, and they posted it. And then Xbox replied, and they were like fawning over it. Um, and here's the funny thing: it's like Xbox has their own specific guidelines on how do we make good female characters when it comes to making games on their platform. We shouldn't objectify them and all that nonsense, but they're fine with objectifying a character that's supposed to be a man. So there's that. But it's all double standards. We know that. But I want to talk about this post from Capcom's localization team on Twitter. So this is a lengthy post. Let's get to it. What is localization? Embark on a global adventure through the lens of game localization, beyond mere translation. We're diving into the art of cultural adaptation, preserving context, and inclusive storytelling. Join us as we unravel the intricacies that make games resonate worldwide. Now, here's the thing, not just with Capcom localization, but a lot of localizers in general. Many a time there were when they did not preserve context. And the thing is that the stories that they were translating were not inclusive enough. So they did change some things. And this is the problem, that there's no respect for the work they're working on. There are times where they'll completely remove context in a video game, add their own political nonsense or their problems and or their weird, bizarre language, and and then and then they want you to respect that. All people want for them is to just translate it properly. That's all. That's all. And most of the time, these bad localizers don't get called out by their employer, which is so bizarre. Because if you work for a company that's just only about let's just say building building houses. Let's just say that if you work for a building company, and all of a sudden uh, okay, no, you're building only, let's just say you're only building wells, okay? And then all of a sudden you're hired to build a well, but then instead you decide to just build a house. That's what it feels like. And then your employer won't shout at you because I don't even know why they don't get scolding. Not just translating. Localization isn't just about translating words. It's about adapting the game for a global audience. Think cultural nuances, idioms, and regional flair. A good localization makes players feel right at home wherever in the world they are. And this is something to point out. Um, there are some localizations that completely remove certain woke elements, like the Spider-Man 2 game, where they completely remove the gay stuff for the Arabic version. And I'm sure a lot of people may have been pissed off by that, but yeah, this is the thing. Back in 2020, Capcom had a leak, a bunch of things leaked, and one of the things leaked was the diversity training. And diversity training was it was basically a couple of pages of what they found acceptable and what isn't acceptable, translated in English and Japanese, and that was it. It was a guideline for their employees, and it seems to me that localization, this little statement of localization, um, matches the leak, because they mentioned in the leak about making certain versions for different regions. And this is the thing, it's going to be extremely expensive. That's the thing. And secondly, it'll also make you seem a bit bizarre, because one moment you're praising all like the woke stuff, you're doing all woke stuff, and then the next moment you're just changing your mind, putting different things in different versions. It makes you feel unauthentic, and it's so expensive. Just make like to just make one specific region, add all the language variations, and that's it. Simple as that. The importance of context. Lost in translation? Nah. Preserving the vibe is key, which I don't even know. I mean, sometimes the vibe is just lost. References and even gameplay elements might need a little cultural remix. And no, I'm sorry. That's just a bit cringe. That is a bit cringe because I want to play the game for what it is, not what I really needed it to fit in my country. Like for instance, it shouldn't fit with my culture if the game isn't about my culture. You know, like that's what diversity is. It's accepting a culture that's different from ours. That's what diversity is. It's important to find that sweet spot to make sure players get the intended experience without feeling like something got lost in the process. Bridging the linguistic gap. Each language has its unique structure and cultural context. Our teamwork ensure the narrative and dialogue maintain coherence and emotional impact. It's not just about words, it's about capturing the essence of the story in the way that resonates with the target audience. But that's the thing now, because a lot of these like localizers, most of them are just woke, and I'm assuming that they think that the rest of the world thinks the way, besides the Arabic side. But I feel like they think the rest of the world thinks the way. But no, it's not just the Arabic side that is against a bunch of the woke stuff. It's also the African communities, different parts of the African communities, uh, African countries too. So here's the thing, just make the game from the ground up to be unwoke and sell it worldwide. You will make a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. Cultural sensitivity in characters. Character designs and development must be culturally sensitive. What may be acceptable in one culture might be offensive in another. Localizers play a crucial role in ensuring that characters are relatable and respectful, avoiding stereotypes or other references that could be perceived as negative in specific cultures. And this is the problem, because there are people in some cultures that may like the opposite of what their culture dictates. You know what I'm saying? Like they could be the most uh, conservative Muslim, but then they'll have a sweet spot for just accepting a video game with characters that wear short clothes. You know what I'm saying? It's like they will just accept it. They can put their differences aside and play with it. But that's the thing now. It's a lot of things are going to be censored, and they're not just. By the way, the armor sets in Monster Hunter, they're going to be censoring that too. By the way, most of it. It was also mentioned on the leak. They want to make it more gender neutral and all that nonsense crap. We all know that both armors, male and female, were not gender neutral, and now they want to go gender neutral. It's ridiculous. Inclusive language and representation. Localization efforts extend to promoting inclusivity through language and representation. This involves adapting not only the linguistic aspects but also addressing the gender-specific language. If you guys don't know, last year, Roald Dahl, I think I'm saying his name incorrectly, but this author that passed away, these works were being basically reworked with sensitivity readers. Sensitivity readers are basically people that basically change a lot of your works. Well, from what I was told, they don't really enforce it, but in this situation with Roald and his work, what happened was, since he's passed on, I think his family gave the green light, or someone gave the green light to censor a lot of his works. And what they did was they changed a lot of things. They changed gendered language, because you can't say men and women or just men or females. You couldn't say females, by the way. It had to be women. They changed a bunch of um, just a bunch of things altogether that did not make sense at all. And it's so bizarre to see a dead man's work be turned into like a woke mockery. And then after all the backlash, they decided to release two versions. The uncensored and the censored versions. It's like, why not just put a fucking warning? Pardon my language, but why not put a warning on the books, which they did for, I think, Gone with the Winds. They could not even change it. This with the sensitivity readers could not change it because it was so offensive that they decided to put a warning over it, and that's better. It's better to put a warning over it at times when it comes to these type of books made by deceased people. It's better to just put a warning over it, and that's it. That's it, right? When it comes to these books. And when it comes to video games, there are some warnings, and it's like, forgive us for our past. It's like, okay, I understand. How about we have like an actual rating on the video games where it says if it's woke or not. That would be really good. That way, people, before they even buy the game, they will know if it's for them or not. Bingo. Um, Gender specific language. There's nothing wrong um, with being a male or female. I have to say that in modern times. They've changed a lot. You can't say male or female in video games. You have to say body types. And this has been happening for some time. Diverse perspectives, which, once again, you are changing because you're censoring men and women. Adapting humor and wit. Humor often relies on cultural references and wordplay, making it challenging aspects of game localization. Translators must carefully navigate puns, jokes, and cultural references to maintain the intended comedic effect. This requires a deep understanding of the target audience sense of humor, and this is the problem now. You want to change a bunch of stuff, but it's like, but the target audience you want to now talk about. The target audience is diverse. Censoring it is not a diverse thing to do. Consistency in terminology. Maintaining consistency in terminology is crucial for a smooth and coherent gaming experience. So this applies not only to translating words, but also to ensuring that game mechanics, instructions, and lore are consistently represented across languages. Establish a cohesive language system help prevent confusion and enhances the overall gaming experience for players worldwide. Let's see what people have to say. Addressing a gender-specific language. So this is it. Just stand tall. You're a boy, aren't you? Just take a few deep breaths. So this is the Japanese version. I don't know what game this is, but just take a few deep breaths. See, how is this gender specific? This is erasure of gender. So there's a bunch of posts. So let's just keep finding some interesting posts. Localization in practice. Okay, there's that. But let's just see some of the what do you call it? The quotes, because this is going to be interesting. I saw some interesting quotes by people. It's not happening. It's just a conspiracy, and this is the next problem. A lot of people think it's not happening. There's clear instances of it. There's been clear instances of it for a few years, but a lot of people will throw it out as it's just a conspiracy. It's just a conspiracy, you know. And this does give us a look into the future of Capcom, what their games are going to be looking like, and how it's not going to be for the target audience, but for the woke folk, because that's who it's for. That's who it's for now. A lot of games, a lot of video games, they now change target audience. So it's not me and you who just want to have fun. It's the people who just constantly are woke. And by the way, a lot of this backlash isn't going to make them change their mind. Okay, a lot of old companies don't jump back. You know, um, that's just it. That's just it. So I had a post. I remember seeing this post where it was about Monster Hunter, but like, oh, here we go. So this is the Monster Hunter Generations. I've played Generations Ultimate, so I'm not sure if this is also in it, or maybe I played the game so quickly, so maybe I did not see it. So maybe things are slightly different, or maybe things are completely different. Okay, this is the Japanese version. When you want to know monster information, open the start menu. This is the English version. Do you ever say to yourself, wow, I'm terrible. I'll never be able to take out that monster. And okay, and in the hunter notes, look at the monster list. People will just tell you to get good, but that's a terrible suggestion. Whoever listens to these people anyway? But if the information isn't listed yet, try going to listen to the Academy head's researcher. I've been around my fair share of elite hunters to know that you gotta know your targets inside out. I don't. With that, take care. Do your best, hunter. Knowing their insides, that's gross. Leave that to the researchers. What I mean is study their attacks and patterns. So, how is this Japanese approximate translations different from this? Wow, right? It's extremely different. And this is just someone's rant, and this is just what the game's supposed to be about, right? I also bookmarked this. I'm guessing it's buried under my bookmarks. Uh, so yeah, this has been happening for a while now. It's just now they're a bit more open online about what the woke things they add and all the crazy sentences they add, all the changes. They're just proud about it. You will find a bunch of localizers just proud about all the changes they do, and they do it to other games too. So yeah, it's just insane. And if you look at that video, I know it's kind of small, but it's like it's all blank. Oh my goodness. Um, it's so bizarre. So first, oh, it isn't a thing. You are all just making up big. It's second, it's just a few bad Apple localizers. Quit making a big deal out of it, Nuze. Now, oh, it's definitely happening, and it's a good thing. And if you don't like it, you're literally the mustache man. This is how it basically is. First it isn't happening, then it's just a couple of people, just it's slightly happening, no big deal. You shouldn't worry about it. And now it's happening. It's definitely happening. If you have a problem with it, go away. This is how it's been going on for a lot of entertainment recently. Um, that's just how it is. Anyways, I just want to say that it does give us a glimpse into Capcom's future and how woke it is. In fact, I remember was it last year, when the news came out, Capcom's going to be working from the ground up with the sensitivity, like with the localizers from the ground up, so they can make the game already woke. So instead of just wasting the translators, the localizers' job by making them do all the editing after, they can now work with the team simultaneously. So as they're building Monster Hunter, it's going to be woke. It's not just going to be the English version. It's going to be all versions, basically. All wokeness everywhere. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Japan is not safe from wokeness. No country is safe from wokeness. So I just need to leave you all with that piece of information. Bye.